everybody, welcome back. Shane here with you from Guitar at Work. Welcome back, great to be back. This is an interesting video. It's sort of a departure from, we've been doing a lot of songs lately, and this is more of a technique thing where we're talking about 5 distinct finger picking patterns. To me, they're essential patterns for sure, all based upon that alternating bass, the thumb going back and forth on the beat, and we'll talk further about that for sure. But a lot of songs that we've done, and many songs out there, have a distinct finger picking pattern, like Salisbury Hill, like Fire and Rain, things like that, Blackbird. These patterns here are for in a situation where you need accompaniment patterns. You can play a million songs with these. A lot of songs don't have a particular pattern, so you're basically free to just, once you have a few patterns under your belt, to improvise something, right? So that's what we're getting at here. So we have 5 distinct patterns. I'm going to use 3 chords, G, C, and D, okay? Because those are your, we'll talk further about this too, those are your 3 families of right-hand patterns, depending how many X's the chord has. And we'll talk about that. So again, thank you for coming back and subscribing. Thumbs up, it meant a lot to me. I really appreciate that. And I want to send you to, I'm going to refer you to this sheet of paper the whole way through. I've written those patterns down for you. You can get that from patreon.com/guitaratwork. Grab that, patreon.com/guitaratwork. Go and grab that and make life a whole lot easier. And I trust you can read finger picking notation. You got 6 lines there. Each one of those lines is a string, and the lowest line is your thickest string, your low E string. And the dots, of course, are which strings to play. If there's a line going down underneath the dot, it means that's a thumb, a right-hand thumb. That's critical. You'll also see numbers over top of the other notes. Those are your finger numbers, 1 and 2. Fingers 1 and 2, or finger 3 once in a while, we'll use him as well. So watch out for that. It's all about having a good system in your right hand and having just a good organizational system, so you're not starting fresh every time. So if we jump right in, pattern number 1 here is the thumb starting right here, low E. I'm on a G. You can use any G you like. If you like a 4-finger G, 3-finger G, whatever suits you, doesn't matter in this case. So we're starting out with just a thumb on the right hand, low E string, and then a thumb to the D string. That's what's called alternating bass. So notice you're skipping a string there. So you got thumb, and then thumb again on the D string, just like that. And the second half of that bar, bar 1, is thumb, 2, thumb, 1. Here's your whole pattern. Thumb, thumb, and then thumb, 2, thumb, 1. That's just for G so far. Let's do that a couple times. Thumb, 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 2, thumb, 1. That's pattern number 1 on G. Thumb, 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 2, thumb, 1. That's it. Now finger picking, until you achieve a certain speed, you don't get that flow where it all mixes beautifully together. Here's pattern 1. There we go, right? Once you get it cooking, it starts to sound musical, but if you're involved in every single note as you're learning it, you can wonder where the music is, but it'll come for sure. So if that's new to you, hey, stop tape right there. Just turn it off and boom, just go to get in there, try to get that going for sure. Yeah, there we go. And you don't need big long finger nails to finger pick. Lots of great players don't use nails at all. A little bit helps, I find, to brighten things up. Now if you've got that going on G, here it is on C. Pattern number 1 on C is your thumb now has to start on the A string, because this string is typically X'd out. You don't usually use him if you're playing just a regular garden variety C. So that we're starting there with the thumb on the A string, and then the thumb comes to the D string, still alternating. And it's thumb, 2, thumb, 1. Here it is again. C, thumb, 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 2, thumb, 1. Get your, hopefully you got a good close-up of that there. Thumb, 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 2, thumb, 1. And then lastly, the D. Now D is a bit of an exception. Your whole system comes down toward the floor, okay? So D, the thumb would start on the D string. Get that guy. We preserve the alternating bass. Thumb, thumb on the G string. And then thumb, 2, thumb, 1. Let's do the D again. Thumb, 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 2, thumb, 1. There we go. So we've got 3 chords and 1 pattern going across. Now we are having to change the pattern a little bit to accommodate how many X's the chord has, how many strings are available here, right? But you'll quickly, those are your 3 main finger picking families of strings. You're not going to find a whole lot of exceptions to that. So if I go, here's from G again. Here's pattern number 1 on G. I'll play it twice. 3, 4. Again. C. I'll give you a second to change. 3, 4, twice. Comes a D. Let's get a second to change. D. And I'm going back to G here. There we go. I really want to mention, when you're playing that up to speed, let's say I go to a C, there's a D. The last note, how on earth am I going to get back to G and still play that same note on the G, is typically play an open string there. And it's consonant with the chord. It's a good thing to do. There it is. Boom. That just enables it. Gives you half a beat to change chords there. It happens all the time. It's not cheating. So that's pattern number one. Again, I recommend stop tape right there. Take these in chunks. Hey, that could take you a little while to get up to speed and all that. And we'll move into variation. Number two, you may have seen in a John Denver video we just did. Very, very important pattern. And there's only really 4 notes and they just repeat. So here's number 2 on G. Thumb, 2, thumb, 1. That's the first 4 notes, but it's the same as the second 4 notes. Thumb, 2, thumb, 1. There we go. One more time. Thumb, 2, thumb, 1, thumb, 2, thumb. Good. There's 8 notes in that pattern. Straight 8th notes we call that. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So important. You're using the thumb on the beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the C chord. Pattern number 2 on the C. 3, 4. Thumb, 2, thumb, 1, thumb, 2, thumb, 1. Once again, remember we have brought the first bass note to the A string. Thumb, 2, thumb, 1, thumb, 2, thumb, 1, and the D. Here's your D shape, and the whole thing comes down toward the floor. You got thumb, 2, thumb, 1. Again, thumb, 2, thumb, 1. That's it. That's all on your sheet for you. Stop tape there. Get through that one. Now, hey, even at in this early stage, if I mix patterns 1 and pattern number 2 together, just randomly, here's G, pattern 1. I'm tying them twice. Okay, and sorry, here's pattern 1. C. That's pattern 2. Here's a D, pattern 1. And back to G, pattern 1, pattern 2. Yeah, so it kind of blurs the bar line. It doesn't sound so patterny, really. Number 3 coming your way. This one starts with a pinch. If you haven't heard that term before, it means we're playing 2 notes at the very same time. So sitting on that G, you notice that on your sheet there, that the note on the low E string and the B string, they're vertically aligned, so they happen at the very same time. That's your thumb and your second finger in there doing that. You'll see a little 2 written over top. That's your middle finger playing that B string. And now a significant pause of a beat. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and there it is. Here it is again. Number 3 on G. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and one more time. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and there we go. And number 2 on the C chord. I'm sorry, number 3 on C. It's just the thumb that's changed there. First and third thumb. That's your C, and then your D. Come down over the floor, and hear that pause. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here's number 3 again. In time, I'll play them twice each. 1, 2, 3, and G again. Here's a C. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. Here's a D. Let's take a second to change. D. Going twice there. Go back to G here. There we go. That was number 3. Moving right along. I keep saying it, but shut it down there and just sit that and work that out. That may take you a few days to get that steady to you. And you'll have to look. There's no shame in looking for a little while. Very important, you rest your right arm in the correct spot. I always tell people, just rest below your elbow. Don't be on your bicep like that, because then you're having to hold up your arm. You'll be tempted to rest the pinky or something like that. But if you can, just get just below the elbow, and then you're kind of dangling, and you'll get the most sort of speed and dynamic from that. Number 4 coming your way if you're feeling ready. Number 4 is, people call it a cascade pattern. It starts with a nice little flourish. I'm on the G, and here's the first time we've used that high E on the G chord. So a ring finger, that's his job. Ring finger on the right hand, and we get this. I'll slow it down in a sec, but again. There we go. So we're starting with thumb and ring, and immediately, no pause, and then the B string with the second finger. So you get this. Then right to a thumb. Hear it again. 3, 4. Now first finger. That's the whole pattern. The second half of that pattern is the same as number 2, if that helps you. So here's that cascade again. Here's number 4 again on G. Cascades are cool when you get them cooking. They really blur the bar lines. They say like again, C. Yeah, it's really pretty. I like that. Here's your C chord cascade on C here, starting number 4 on C. Here's again, 3, 4. Stop tape there if you need. Now D/F sharp. Oftentimes a D, if you put your thumb over on the second fret of that low E string. Now, so that we're all different sizes and shapes. You might have to have your wrist way up, whatever you have to do to get that guy to work, get that thumb over. And as you can see, my first knuckle in there is just folded over, and he's producing that note on the second fret. Now there's no X's in the D. There's no X's, all strings are legal, just like that. So we're only trying to play that low E with the thumb. That might give you a buzz on the high E, but work that out. There's a way for your wrist to do it. If you're playing a nylon string guitar, it's a little harder because the necks are typically wider. So watch out for that. Don't throw your back out trying that, or don't hurt yourself. You shouldn't have to really crush it. So D/F sharp, that's called. And now we're treating it as if it's a G with the right hand, same as a G would be, because there's no X's. So here's D/F sharp, number 4. Here it comes again. 3, 4. Same as a G was. I'll go back to G here. There we go. Number 5 coming. Again, strongly recommend stop tape there. Get into those. It's fun to watch this all the way through just to get a sense of the pacing for sure. But people often feel that in a 10-minute or 20-minute video that you should be able to play it by the end of that. Not usually the case. So be kind to yourself for sure. Number 5, our last one here. There's something called a cluster pluck in there. Unfortunate term, but the cluster pluck is on beat 2. Here it is here. See that big cluster of notes there on beat 2. That's 3 notes at the same time. So here it is, thumb. Now your thumb does his typical, he's coming down to the D string, but now it's thumb 1 and 2. They grab at the same time. That's the cluster pluck. So thumb, and then the cluster, and then your cascade, which is the same as the first half of number 4. Again, number 5 on G. Cluster, cascade, and then again. Here it is on C. 3, 4. Again, C, number 5. And D/F sharp, number 5, with the thumb over, remember. Same as the G would be. Again. And you're back to G, why not? Good, so what we do, isolate all of those and just be able to play them individually. I like to memorize things. I just find staring at the page for too long, I don't hear things as well for some reason. I'm more involved if I just kind of know it. And then just basically randomly mix them up. So I'm going to go I'll just see if I'm so smart, if I can play all 5 G. I'll play one pattern of each on G. So here is number 1 G, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So that was all the way through each pattern, right? Here's C, it'd be the same thing, but here's number 1, 2, 3, and 5. And of course do the same with the D. And D, you could start out with a regular D, and then gradually put that thumb over for numbers 4 and 5. Then, hey, make a game of it. Go from 1 to 4 to 2 to 5 to 3 to 1, like whatever mathematically works for you. And then you improvise. So when a song is, I don't know, it could be a straight campfire song, tons and tons of folky, poppy, country stuff, bluegrass stuff. There's no set pattern, so it's up to you to kill 4 beats on the chord, or it could be 4 bars or whatever it might be. And basically your right hand just, after a while, he improvises. At first you'll be feeling very patterny, but then he'll break loose if you do enough of this, for sure. Good stuff. Really a good thing to be able to do, for sure. And let me know how you're making out with all that. Always fun to get together, and I appreciate, again, all your feedback. Again, go to patreon.com/guitar@work, grab this sheet. I think it'll save you a whole lot of headaches, a whole lot of rewinding and all that. And ask me questions there. And we can communicate that way as well. But also meet me in the comments. And I look forward to the next one. I got another one coming out very, very soon. And thanks for all your support, guys. Really appreciate it. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.